Hey there, greetings everyone. Pete Pardo here from Comic Book Geezers. Welcome to another episode of the show. It's new acquisition day. We had Bill showing off his new haul. I showed off my new haul last week, and we figured let's have Scott Berry back on the show. He's going to show off some stuff today too. So Scott Berry, welcome. Frequent collaborator on Sea of Tranquility, comes on here on Comic Book Geezers every so often. What's happening, Scott? How you been?
Doing good, man. Picked up a lot of good stuff from our website in Texas that you guys order from a lot. mycomicshop.com. Got a few things at my local comic shop, and I hit a con a few weeks ago. So
Nice. Was that the
yeah,
first one you've been to in a while?
it is the first one in a while. I mean, even before COVID hit, it just seemed like there weren't a lot of good cons coming around. So yeah, this is the first one in a while, and they actually had comics, believe it or
Yeah,
not.
that's good. I mean, there's some regional ones. There was one actually today in Clifton, New Jersey. It's like once a month, and Bill and I were talking about going, but we ultimately didn't go. We're maybe going to try again next month. But there are some smaller ones happening. You know, Comic Con happens now too, but that's a little bit too big and too crowded for me. So
Well, it's big, it's expensive, and I'm not even sure it's all that big on comics
not as much as it used to be.
anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all about other stuff. So I like
or if they do have them, they're pretty pricey.
they're pretty pricey, yeah. And if
Yeah,
you can even get close to the table to look at them, that's the problem.
exactly.
So I like the smaller regional shows. To me, they're a
Yeah.
little more fun. Not as many people, and usually, you know, in most cases, there's a good selection. But unlike you, I don't have any like really great local comic shop stores that are like within like a half hour from me. It's like if I want to go to a decent store, I got to travel like an hour or an hour plus. And there's some good ones like in Connecticut and Jersey, but like right around here, not much.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
So I use mycomicshop.com most of the time when I'm in
Yeah, they've got good stuff.
they do.
And I've hit a couple others online. There's one up in Bangor, Maine that you might want to check out. Top Shelf Comics. They're not bad.
Oh, I've never used them. Okay.
Yeah.
Are the guys out in Colorado still around?
I think so, if you mean Mile High,
Yeah.
as far as I know, but I've always found them to be a little high for my tastes.
I used them a lot, like in the early 2000s when I got back into this,
Yeah.
and they were really good for a while. But then I had a couple bad experiences with them, and I said I got to find someone else, and that's
Yeah,
what I
they're a
found.
little on the pricey side for me.
Yeah, they had good inventory.
Good selection. I'll
Yeah,
give them that. But
yeah,
yeah, it's a little more than I want to pay sometimes.
yeah. I hear you. I hear you. So Scott's
Yeah.
got some stuff he's going to show us today, so I'll turn it over to him and show us his goods.
There you go. All right, thank you, sir. Yeah, I've been well, I know you've been showing off your Warren horror mags a lot lately, Creepy, Eerie, Vampirella, and I've been kind of adding to my collection of those as well. Not so much the Vampirella, I got a pretty good collection on those. I'm only missing three, but they're the ones that I'm missing are all pretty high. So
Yeah,
I
they're
don't know.
hard to find.
Yeah, the early issues. So, but I did get Creepy number 5,
Nice.
and these are kind of the grails of the creepies and eries. They with the Frazetta covers, the early issues, and I just love these, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And the artwork is great. Some of the stories are like not fantastic, but they're all fun. Some of them are like, some of the stories, it's like a really bad horror movie. Some of the stories are like so bad they're good,
Yeah, I can see that. I know what you'd mean. I also found another Frazetta early issue and a Frazetta cover, and this was a half price books find.
Wow.
The last one, that was at my comic shop. This was half price books, and I think I paid maybe 10 for this.
That's in good shape too.
Yeah, and it's in pretty good shape. I was like blown away when I saw this. So I was like, yeah, I'm jumping on that.
No, yes, you should.
Absolutely. And I think I'm only missing maybe one or two, maybe three more of the Frazetta covers. The 32 is a hard one to find. I have not found that one yet. And then more creepy. Jumping ahead a bit, this one's 75.
Yeah, that's a nice one. I think I have that one.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah, that's a great cover. That's is that a Frazetta or is that a Boris?
be honest with you. Yeah, I don't think it's either, to be honest with
Really?
you. It might be a Ken Kelly. Ken Kelly did a
Oh
fair
yeah,
amount
yeah,
of these.
yeah. He did some of the later ones. Yeah,
And here's another one, number 76.
nice. Yeah, gorgeous.
Grim Reaper action.
This is amazing how we use words like gorgeous talking about horror books.
Yeah. Another one, got kind of a abominable snowman kind
Yeah,
of creature there. And I do believe this is a Ken Kelly.
yeah. It looks like him. That's
Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that may know better. I'm just going off of memory here. And here's number 81.
nice. Yeah, classic stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, okay, you get creepy. Well, you got to get a few Eries too.
That's right.
And I just love this cover.
That's great.
The werewolf and
It's so
suspect
good. It almost looks like a photograph.
girl. Yeah, it kind of does.
What issue number is that, Scott? I gotta
That
get
is number 48 from 1973.
Okay.
And that one I know I got at my local comic shop, Austin Books and Comics. In fact, yeah, I think the next few I'm going to show you are all from Austin Books. In fact, the owner of the store came in. He comes in every now and then, and he brings in like a whole bunch of stuff from his warehouse. And I go in there, and and he'll price them for me like right on the spot.
It's amazing how a lot of these local comic shops, especially the ones that have been around for a while, it's like what you see in their shop is not always all that they have, and they have.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I know I can like text them or PM them or something, just like, do you have this? If it's something I'm looking for.
That's good. You have that relationship with
They
him.
may not, but
Yeah.
they'll look for it. And that is number 67. Yeah, I think I did a little more recently on the Eries than the Creepies, and I think I have maybe a few more Eries to get than I do Creepies at this point. And that's number 73.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
74. I mean, I got a lot of magazines just like over the last few months.
What a cover, man. That's so cool.
The
the covers are just so amazing on these.
Now this is Richard Corbin. I don't know if you're familiar with Richard Corbin. Did some eerie and creepy, but he also did, probably best known for his work on heavy metal.
Yep.
You can see that
scantily clad lady up there in the tree.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure she's clad in anything.
Yeah, she's not clad in anything. There's no scantily about it.
They're trying to be discreet about how much they're showing.
Yeah.
To a degree, but yeah, there's definitely some no clothes.
Nope.
Number 75. That was kind of a weird one.
Yeah.
Freaky little dude there. A couple more. I got number 91 here.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
It does, yeah. Much bigger, but yeah.
And then this one, I remember, I actually, this was in their that whole set, that, you know, group of stuff they had just got in from their warehouse when the owner came into the store. And this one particularly, we were looking at it closely, and he's like, oh, there's all these little like indentations on it. And he ended up giving me this one for free with the rest of it, but the other stuff I was buying, you know, it's like, he thinks somebody probably shot it with a BB gun several times. I don't know what that was all about, but I was like, hey, it's
why?
You know, but you got a dinosaur, and yeah, you got a lady, well, like scantily clad. Yes.
Yeah, ripping her clothes off.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. I know this is up your alley, and I know you probably featured these yourself, you and Wild Bill. Doc Savage.
Oh yeah.
got a bunch of those recently. I actually bought the Doc Savage comic series, but I also bought more recently the magazine.
Yeah, you got to have them both. The magazine is really well done. I mean, I like
Yeah,
the
these
comic
are
too. I think
amazing.
the magazine was better.
I think you're right. Tony DeZuniga did most of the artwork on these. I think at first it was John Buscema pencils and DeZuniga on inks, but I think maybe about from number 4 or 5 onward, it was all DeZuniga. And the covers are just
Well
amazing.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Really cool stuff. And these were
Shame
all
that it's a shame that series didn't last longer. It's like all those Doc Savage comics were like destined to only go so far, and then that's it.
I think so. They've tried several times over the years to revive the character, and it run for a few issues, and eventually they end up pulling the plug.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the Shadow,
Yeah.
character from another time, sort of pre-comic book.
Yeah, he's a character that was so good back in the 30s and 40s, and it just never seemed to translate well, I think, with readers in the 70s.
I think there was an audience for it, but it wasn't a huge audience.
And I have most of the Bantam paperbacks of all the old Doc Savage stories. I have 200 of them, and
Wow.
I like reading them
Amazing.
They're great palate cleansers for me because the books are like 100 pages long. So when I've got done reading like a 1,000-page Stephen King book or like a couple rock biographies, I'm like, all right, I need to read a couple Doc Savage stories for like a week just to kind of, because it's easy read, it's fun, it's kind of formulaic,
Right.
it works, right? It just clears your mind, and it's like,
Now, you say, how many did you say? 200?
oh yeah, I got a whole huge box of them.
Are these all different stories, or
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing. So that's number 4.
That's a good one.
I bought all these all at once from my comic shop. They did not have number 8, the final issue.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, they're pretty affordable.
yeah, when you can find them. Even though they're not usually too expensive when you see them, sometimes they're just not that easy to find. A lot of these magazines, they're just not.
Yeah,
they're not plentiful. They didn't have as large a run as a standard format comic book.
yeah. The last time I went to Zap
So,
Comics in New Jersey, Kirk and I went, and they had I didn't get any, but they had a whole bunch of the Rampaging Hulk magazines that I didn't have, because I have a bunch of them, but I don't have all of them. And I was like, I almost got a few, but then I bought a bunch of Eerie and Creepy, and I was like, I'll do this now, and maybe next time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Were they going for much?
Not really. No.
Are generally. So some of the issues are pricier because it depends on whether they're the issues that have the Moon Knight stories.
Correct. Yeah. There were a couple that were in like the $15 range, which I think was a little bit pricey for some of these magazines for the Hulk anyway. So I wound up not getting any of them, but I still would like to. So at some point.
So you mentioned Rampaging Hulk. I did get a few of those.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I have that one. Yeah.
And that's number 12. Number 11, I'm kind of going backward here.
Yeah, I don't have that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. And then, okay, and that's number 10.
Yeah, it's a great cover. Yeah, I don't have that one either. That's a good cover. Yeah, and this is and that's when they changed it, so that one's in color. Yeah, because I know they changed it at some point. I think the popularity of the TV show was kind of forcing that to go through some change, because they changed the title of it also.
Yeah, it went from Rampaging Hulk to just the Hulk.
Yeah.
And I went to color. So I did manage to get a few, not all of them, but a few of the ones. And these do have the Moon Knight stories in them.
Yeah.
This is number 14. And yeah, this one was actually from my local comic store, Austin Books. Also got number 15.
Nice. So you got some good ones.
Yeah. I'm still missing several, and I do have like the first 9 issues, which I bought a while ago when it was Rampaging Hulk.
Yeah, most of these that you've just shown I don't have. These are some of the later ones.
Yeah, this is 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these last three that I've shown you, yeah, these all have Moon Knight stories in them,
And those are all the color ones, right?
their color. Is that your dog?
Yeah. It's Tala. She's like, I don't want to be in here anymore. Listen to you guys talking about boring comic books.
I don't know how far you want to go with this, but yeah, a lot of this is magazines. I will tell you that. And then these, you've never shown them on your show, but they're from Warren, and I thought you might be interested in them. They're kind of a cool little thing that went for a little while. And talking about, this is the Spirit.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, no, we have not. I don't have any of those. Okay.
Yeah, and they did this for a couple of years, and they're reprints of old stories from like the Golden Age. Some of them ran in newspapers. This one, and the cover is Will Eisner, and painted by Basil Gagos.
Ah, nice. Yeah, he's
They
awesome.
did some stuff for Warren.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kirk, if you're watching, I wonder if you have any of these because I think these would be right up Kirk's alley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found a whole bunch of them at half price books, and they were going for like $5 each. So, and they're in great condition. I'm just like, wow, these are amazing.
I find most of these Warren magazines, even some of the Marvel ones that I'm finding out there in the wild, are in great shape for 50-year-old magazines.
If you can find them, yeah.
Yeah. People took really good care of them.
Every now and then, you stumble across them, and it's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
That's number 2. And that's Eisner. And Eisner is one of those guys that he's kind of revered as, one of the big founding fathers of comics and comic art, and just how we look at comics. He didn't really work for DC or Marvel, but he was hugely influential. Frank Miller often cited him as an influence. That's number 8. And this is all the femme fatale characters that appeared in the various Spirit comics over the years. It's number 11. And yeah, some of these are more like pen and ink, by Eisner, and some of these are painted over.
It's a great cover.
Yeah. I mean, they're done in sort of a humorous way.
Well, I think they're probably more like comic strip type of thing.
Yeah, and this it was kind of an odd thing. It sort of ran as a comic strip in newspapers, but they also had their own comic book for several years too. There's a few things in some of the books that may not. I mean, if you look at some of these books, some of the things may not translate very well to modern day.
Right. Politically incorrect.
Yes, exactly. Politically incorrect.
Yes.
I mean, I think at the time, I don't think there was any animosity intended, but it does. Yeah, you look at them today, and it just some of the.
It's like when we were talking about the Doc Savage books before. When I go and read those paperback books, again, these stories from the 30s. I mean, some of the terminology they use and the way they describe people of certain ethnic origins is just so wrong.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that today.
No,
it wouldn't fly. And these were, like I said, the reprints are from the 70s. The books were originally published in the 40s and early 50s. Love the artwork on these things.
And how many issues did that run, Scott?
This ran with Warren for 16 issues. This is number 15. And here's the last one Warren did, number 16. It got picked up by Kitchen Sink Publishing after Warren stopped doing it. And I don't have any of those, but it did continue. I don't know, but maybe up into the 30s, early 80s, maybe, 1980s.
Good stuff.
I always thought those were cool.
Yeah, and you don't see those out there much at all.
Not that much. I mean, it's a character that's sort of been revived here and there. Yeah. DC did do got the rights to the character and did their own Spirit like in the early 2000s, I think.
Yeah, and there was the movie. We had the movie
There
there.
was a movie. As far as I understand, it's not good. That's not very good from what I hear. I should probably check it out just to see for myself.
Worth a watch, but it's not
What it
very
is.
good.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I know Frank Miller was like a huge fan of Will Eisner's, and so that might have played a big part in the movie getting made.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, also got some Tales of the Zombie, and that is the very first issue. And
Those are so good. They're so good.
And that's
I went and bought the Marvel, was it the Masterworks, the collected volume like a number of years ago, thinking, those are gonna be so hard to get, whatever. And now I'm like, I've been buying the single issues again.
I'm still missing 9, 10, and the annual. I got all the other issues.
Yeah, they're good.
These are these ones I'm showing you are the ones I got most recently. This is number 5.
Yeah, I have that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Number 6. Really cool stuff. I mean, this isn't quite, and when they say zombie, it's not quite the same kind of zombies you see in The Walking Dead or Night of the Living Dead or that kind of thing. More of the, I guess, voodoo kind of zombie.
Yes. Yeah. It's basically kind of like the Bela Lugosi film White Zombie. That's kind of, they're basically just reanimated corpses that, kind of mindless, but they're not out ravaging and trying to eat people and eat brains and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's number 7.
Yeah, look at that.
And this one I just got last week. I think they're within the last couple of weeks. Really cool stuff.
You got lots of horror reading to do, my friend.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we're getting near the end of the magazines, and from there on, I got maybe 1 or 2 more stacks. Got some Deadly Hands of Kung Fu.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that was good. Ooh.
White Tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are always. And I think these might be Earl Norham. That might be an Earl. Yeah, it is. It's an Earl Norham cover, who did a lot of the Savage Sword of Conan covers. Always liked his work. Number 30. I'm still missing about maybe 8 or 9 issues in Deadly Hands.
Well, there's a lot of them. I have very few of those.
Some of them are pricey now. I mean, I might even be priced out of a couple of them. And that's the final issue, number 33. I always enjoyed those. And as far as standard format, and I know you guys mostly talk Marvel here, but I'm going to show you some DC. Been working on my Spectre collection. This is showcase number 60, and this happens to be the first Silver Age appearance of the Spectre. He hadn't been in a comic in about 20 years when this came out.
Wow. Okay.
66, 67.
I was going to say it's a 12th center. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was kind of his big reintroduction to the world of comics.
That's a nice score.
Yeah, and that one it's going to be pricier than the others, but I didn't spend too much on it. I mean, it didn't go into crazy numbers. And number 61.
Nice.
I just thought that was kind of a weird cover. Yeah, I think these are this one and the previous one. They're Murphy Anderson covers. Great Silver Age artist that worked at DC. And number 64, and that was the last of the showcase issues. Another Murphy Anderson cover.
Yeah, Bill's gonna like to see these. Bill likes the Spectre.
Bill likes Spectre.
Yeah, I do too. I don't really have much.
I remember you guys did a Spectre, and I was like, I think I saw on the description it said Spectre number 2, and I was expecting, since you guys mostly do silver and bronze, I thought
it's one of the later
60s
ones.
series, and it was a 90s one, and I do like the 90s series too. It's a great series. I think that's one of the better series of the 90s.
Yeah.
Anyway, and here's number 2 from the
Gotcha.
1967
Wow.
series, and the one and only Neil Adams doing the artwork there.
Yeah, it's worth having. Mr. Adams.
And oh, yeah, there it is. And another Adams cover.
Nice.
Again, these issues I'm showing you, this pretty much completes my Spectre run from the 60s. So I had all the others, and these, like I said, complete the runs. Number 6. And I believe this is which one is it? I think this one's Jerry Grandinetti did the cover on this. I think that was the last one I ended up getting just on my last run from my comic shop. And this I got from my local comic store, Austin Books.
Oh, that's a great cover.
Oh yeah. It's very ominous. Got this one at the con I was at recently. Weird Worlds #1. Not a very expensive book. I mean, you can get these fairly cheap.
Yeah.
These and the Tarzans that DC put out in the early mid 70s, I think they're great. I love them.
I've been wanting to get some of the DC Tarzan and then the Marvel run Tarzan. John.
They're not expensive.
No, they're not at all. They're not at all. And you can find them everywhere. Every time I go to any shop or anything, that they have tons of them. And I'm like, but you know what it is. You buy a couple of those, then you're gonna.
Well, I get you.
Yeah.
There's only so much time, so much room. Yeah.
It's the way it goes. Right?
So much patience that your wife has, right? I got a kind of an early Bronze Age Flash issue.
Oh wow! Yeah.
With the Neil Adams cover, number 204. Flash's wife Iris is basically spilling the beans at Flash's Barry Allen. I think she ends up thinking on the whole Justice League down here.
Yeah.
Out of Justice League, speaking of, number 53.
Oh, nice. Wow.
So, and another one, number 80. This is probably about 1970.
Very cool.
And this one, this is a kind of a one-off Batgirl special from 1988 with Mike Mignola cover. This came out right after, right before or right after The Killing Joke.
Okay.
And so this ends up being kind of the last story with Barbara Gordon as Batgirl for a while, because you probably know what happened in the Killing Joke, right?
Oh yeah, yep.
I mean, basically, he shoots her and she's wheelchair
bound from now on in. Yep.
And becomes Oracle.
Yep.
Kind of works from behind the scenes. Do one more.
Sure.
One more stack. Okay. And these were from the last con I went to. Got a few strange tales.
Oh yeah, those are great. I love those.
Yeah. From and this is during the Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. period, number 137. That's a John Severin cover. And I do like Nick Fury, but one thing that kind of bugs me about this era of Strange Tales, which featured, well, first Human Torch and Doctor Strange, then Nick Fury and Doctor Strange, Doc kind of gets the shaft here.
Oh, on the covers for sure.
The covers.
Yeah.
Sure. And I do have this one, but I got it a while ago, so I'm not showing it today. But 146 ends up being Steve Ditko's last issue on Doctor Strange. That is the only time that during Ditko's run that Doctor Strange got the whole cover.
And I don't know
What the
why.
hell?
I think
Yeah,
that
I don't.
they were thinking that comic was going to sell more based on having Nick Fury on the cover for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know. I mean, this one's 139, and actually Doc is on the
on the
sides here.
side, yeah,
It's kind of look. It's kind of weird. He's looking on at what's going on with Nick Fury here.
yeah.
But yeah, like Doc kind of, yeah, he sort of got shafted on these for a while
He
anyway.
did, yeah,
Um, number 141,
yeah. It's a
very
good
cool Kirby Dick Ayers cover. I think it's Dick Ayers. Dick Ayers, or it might be Frank Jacoya. On inks.
Yeah, I think I'm only missing one, maybe two of the entire Fury Doctor Strange run in Strange Tales.
Yeah, I think I got maybe 5 or 6 to go on those. And I got a few of the Human Torch ones, but I'm not really looking to get the whole run of those.
Well, it goes way back and it starts getting so expensive.
Well, the early ones, yeah, and plus, first Doctor Strange, yeah,
Right.
I'm way priced out of that one. There's no
Yeah.
way. 143.
Yeah, it's a great one.
The Fixer and Mentallo. And Fury strapped to a bomb.
Yep. Yeah, that's classic.
Kirby cover.
Yep.
And 145. Also Kirby. There we go. Also from the con, I picked up this special edition X-Men #1, which is reprint of Giant Size X-Men #1.
Yeah, one of the most expensive comics going today, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, we talked about being priced out. Well, that's one I would say I'm priced out of. So this was a nice find. Even these are kind of starting to go for a bit. I think I only paid maybe $3 for this, but I've seen it going for a lot more in some places. So.
And what year did that reprint come out in?
What does it say here? 82.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. And that is a Dave Cockrum cover, who did do the artwork on the original. Got a Marvel Fanfare, and I always like this one. Black Widow story. It's actually first part of a 2 or 3 part arc. And the wonderful, great George Perez doing their art chores on that.
The man.
Yeah, he is the man. Was the man.
Yeah.
Lost him too soon. And of course, I got to show off a few monster books. Well, Bill, like these. Where Monsters Dwell, number 30.
I love Where Monsters Dwell and Monsters on the Prowl. I love those. Those are great.
Absolutely. With the big shadow alien guy here. This is one I actually remember buying off the spinner rack when I was a kid. I hadn't seen it in years, so I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting that."
Again, yeah. And those are fairly affordable when you can find them.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It depends. It seems like they kind of vary a bit, depending on where you go.
It depends on who the monster is featured on the cover, right?
Well, maybe that's it too. I know the ones with the Fin Fan Foom and
Roots and yeah.
Roots. Yeah, those go for a bit more. Early number Vault of Evil number 3.
Is great. Yeah.
And this is a Brunner cover, Frank Brunner. Which I think
he's so good.
Yeah.
So underutilized, man. He's like one of the, there was a handful of those guys in Marvel who were great, but you didn't see them do enough stuff. It's like
not enough.
Brunner, Plug, Steranko, Galassi. I mean, those guys were so good. And
I think Steranko just ended up going, I don't know, I think he went into movies or something, doing paperback covers, things like that. Things that paid better.
Yeah, well, he was.
Comics didn't pay him enough.
Yeah, he followed the money. That's
exactly. I can't blame him for that. You're talented. You want to get paid what you're worth.
Yeah, I don't think any of those guys made a lot of money drawn for Marvel in the 70s and the 60s. I really don't think they did.
Most of them did not.
Yeah.
Monsters on the Prowl, number 25 with Colossus.
That's the first Monster on the Prowl I ever bought.
Oh, really? And that's a Kirby Ayers cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a reprint cover too. I think it's pretty. I mean, with the reprint covers, they usually change something about them, you know, the
Like the
colors or
colors,
something.
yeah.
Oh, here was a cool one. It's not in great shape, but the price wasn't too bad, and I thought, okay, I need to get this for my collection. I'm trying to, one of the things I'm trying to work on is my Man-Thing collection. And Fear number 19, which ends up being the last Man-Thing issue, is also the first appearance of Howard the Duck, although he's not on the cover.
Right.
And that one's going for a bit now. I got it for a fairly good price. And like I said, this is probably about a 2 at best. But hey, I got it now, you know.
I'm a huge fan of the Man-Thing character. I have everything he did, yeah, up until like the end of the volume 2, the second volume they did in the late 70s.
And Steve Gerber writing that
fantastic
stuff. I mean, it's just he had just such an odd sort of quirky style that it was cool. He could do creepy, quirky, just weird stuff that nobody else was doing at the time.
No, not at all. He had a style all his own.
I do have a Man-Thing number 1. I do that's the one with the that's got a Brunner cover, but this is number 2.
Yep.
Which I got recently.
That's a looks like a Romita and drawing a blank. Gil Kane cover.
I think you're probably right on that.
When Gil Kane and Romita worked together, they complemented each other nicely because
I don't see any signatures, but I'm like 90% sure you're right on that on both of those. Here's number 5. Globe cover, famous. I think this is the one.
Arguably the best Man-Thing single issue right there.
Didn't they do like they were doing all those little book and record sets, and this is one of the ones they did.
Yep. Yeah, that's fantastic. And the artwork is great. The writing is great. I think my favorite Man-Thing issue of all time is Giant Size number 1, where he fights the Glob. But the single issue is that one, for me anyway.
Yeah, very cool. Gotta show a Spider-Man during the whole thing. It's a Marvel Tales.
Nice. Wow.
I think I have maybe 2 or 3 left to get of the Giant Size issues of Marvel Tales, before they went to just a standard 32-page size.
Now is that a reprint of the Rhino's first appearance?
It is a reprint of the Rhino's first appearance, and that's a book that I'm priced out of. There's no way I'm going to be able to afford that.
I'm glad I got that when I did. it was pricey, but
well, good for you.
Very good shape. Yeah, it's in rough shape, but I'm like, I got it for a good price. I was like, I got to pull the trigger.
Here's my other dog, Millie. She doesn't show up too often.
Oh, hello.
We just got her several months ago.
Oh, cool.
Usually Solo's the one that sits over there.
Yes, yeah. Saw her a bit earlier.
It's got Marvel Spotlight number 1.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Red Wolf.
Yep.
And that is a Neil Adams cover.
Yeah. I think Red Wolf's a cool kind of like supernatural Western character. It's different. Didn't really catch on, but I always liked the character.
Yeah, he ended up getting his own series and ran about, I don't know, 9 or 10 issues.
Yeah, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, something like that.
He did have a memorable appearance in Avengers too.
Avengers, yep.
And last but not least, this was a replacement for one that I had. It was kind of beat up. Is Daredevil number 163.
Classic
color era with the Hulk.
Mismatch of the century right there.
Yeah, don't you think?
Matt looks like he's quaking in his boots there. It's like,
I will fight to the death. Day, so I guess it must have worked out for him.
Exactly. Cool. Well, Scott, I appreciate, as always, you coming on and showing us some cool stuff. Some great stuff there. Great stuff there. You got lots of reading to do.
I enjoy it.
It's always a good thing.
I've read a few of those, but not. Yeah, I got a ways to go.
Yeah. Well, the Warren stuff is like, those are not quick reads. So like
they're not.
When you're going to sit down and read a Warren book, well, you got to have like about an hour to spare, right? It's not like a 10-minute comic book read at all. So,
right.
but that's cool. It's like reading a book. So.
You got about 6, 7, 8 stories there to read.
At least, yeah. Yeah. And some are more in depth than others. So, yeah. Cool. Well, we hope to see you again soon here on the channel, showing off more stuff. So let me know when you
Appreciate it, man.
accumulate some things, and we'll have you back on again.
Oh, maybe sometime I could be on with you and Wild Bill, or you and Kirk, or we can.
That would be fantastic. Yeah, we should do that. Yeah, because usually Bill and I usually do stuff together in person, but
Yeah, right.
I have Kirk on. Usually we do a Zoom, so maybe we'll do like a Zoom with Kirk and yourself and myself, and
I know Kirk gets a lot of the same kind of stuff I get.
Yeah, you guys do buy. Yeah, you have a lot of similar tastes and stuff, so it's kind of cool. So, all right, we'll make that happen then.
Very cool.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you go. And please leave any comments for Scott or myself down there in the comment section. Down below is down there. And we'll see you all soon here, real soon, in just a couple days on Comic Book Geezer. Scott Berry, I am Pete Pardo. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.